Oregon National Guard soldiers are home after spending 10 months in Iraq.
The troops were welcomed with open arms from family and friends. The 1st Battalion of the 186th Infantry is no longer under federal orders, and its headquarters are now back in Oregon. Good evening, I'm Emily Wood.
And I'm Stephen Sandberg. Thousands of people showed their support to the civilian soldiers today. Newswatch 12's Tove Tupper spent the day following the soldiers' homecoming and reports today is a joyous one for hundreds of families.
It is quite an emotional day for these soldiers and their loved ones. Family, friends, and the community were all out in support with flags, signs, cheering, and lots of tears. Hundreds of people welcomed the troops as they arrived at the Medford Armory this afternoon. There were lots of hugs, smiles, and tears of joy. A few soldiers told me they weren't expecting such a huge welcome home celebration and are very thankful for all the support. After arriving at the Armory, the veterans then marched in formation to Spiegelberg Stadium. The sidewalks were covered with supporters waving flags and signs, everyone yelling thank you to these Guard members.
You spend a year over in Iraq, and you come home and you don't know what to expect, you don't know what's changed, you don't know what people are going to be out, and then you come home and there's so many people, it's so hard to take in, but it's totally worth it.
When the soldiers finally walked into the stadium, everyone was on their feet cheering. One soldier says he can feel how proud everyone in Southern Oregon is of the Guard just by all the people who came out today. Oregon Governor Ted Kulongoski helped welcome home the soldiers, as well as Adjunct General Raymond Reese, who oversees the entire Oregon National Guard, and other legislators and Oregon leaders. All spoke of the praise the soldiers have received from their hard work in Iraq. Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Gregory Day says the mission overseas was very successful. He says his troops completed more than 700 convoy security missions, logged more than 200 miles on the road, fought through more than 4 dozen enemy engagements with very few soldiers wounded, and thankfully no one killed in action.
And as the soldiers returned to the Rogue Valley, they are finally reunited with friends and family for the first time in nearly a year.
For the loved ones left behind a year ago, waiting months for the troops to come home was one of the hardest things they have ever done. Before a march through Medford, before a ceremony at Spiegelberg Stadium, there was only waiting. National Guard member Eric Calvo's mother Susan and his girlfriend Holly Elliott camped out early at the Medford Armory, waiting for him to come home. For Susan, having him back in the United States was a relief.
I heard on the news that that 3 people had died and they didn't give any names or anything, and I was out of town, and it was just heart-wrenching until I found out, that he was okay and everything.
While Holly had to go months without seeing her boyfriend.
Going every day without being with him, and it gets kind of lonely sometimes, but get through it, I guess.
And while families were finally becoming whole again, others were getting larger because of the homecoming. The Kofer and Aslet families found out their children got engaged while serving in Iraq.
And he said, "There's too many guys over here, Mom. I just have to get a ring on her finger."
The 2 families bonded while waiting for their children to arrive.
I'm meeting her for the first time. Her parents are here. I met them for the first time, and we just can't wait to meet each other's children, and are so happy that they're back on American soil.
But eventually, for all the families, the waiting was over. Months of combat in the Middle East were replaced by love from their friends and family.
It's odd. My mother knows my in-laws better than I do.
Yeah, it's a little surreal.
So happy to see you.
Now that the troops are home, the people that care about them are planning to stay by their sides.
Just try to hold on to them and never let go.